Hi, welcome to this interview. This is Melanie Kettner-Borough interviewing a very up-and-coming recording artist, and her name is Lapchild, also known as Jory. So Jory, welcome to this interview.
Thank you. It's an honor, Melanie.
Very, very excited to be able to just reveal who you are to this audience, how you operate, and what it's all about doing music yourself, this whole creative process. So what I'd like to do is just say, where did it all start?
Well, I started writing when I was 10, and my very first song, I wrote a melody, and my sister and I went around the neighborhood that summer singing the song. I still remember it. That's how catchy it was, but I was 10. And so I've always been writing. I've had a difficult and challenging childhood, and I think that was my outlet, and that was my therapy, writing. So I've always been writing something. I also write books, but most recently, my project has been this album that I've just released called The Plan.
Oh, The Plan. So I know that you've actually, had certain kind of, I suppose, outlets and productivity during your years. But now this is a whole different thing from what was happening early on in your life. Can just give, the viewers an idea of some of the dynamics. I know that you were in a group. Tell us about that.
Okay, yes. I was in a band. I left Chicago, and there I was a music journalist. I was on the other side of the fence. I was interviewing and reviewing artists and their work and their performances.
Don't you think that was a bit of a kind of a cheat, because you had that other side of things? So you knew how to analyze what was working, what wasn't working at the time.
Absolutely. I absolutely used that to my full benefit. There's a lot of bad music out there. Yeah.
Bad music.
Yeah, bad music. And I had to listen to it all. When I was a child, I was surrounded with music all day long, listening to it. I was asthmatic. I would drown out my wheezing and my sorrows just by putting headphones on and just listening to music all day.
So sorry, just for our audience. So you literally had problems with asthma then.
Yeah.
And so through all of this, this kind of music was sustaining you.
Yeah.
You were still able to be creative in that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really commendable.
So I think I took it upon myself then, as an asthmatic, never giving my chance as a musician.
Yeah.
And also just other negative things and those voices in your head through family and other people.
You can't do it. You can't do it. Who are you to
just
do it?
Yeah, exactly. No. These things.
Don't let it happen.
Yeah, and so it did happen. It happened to me. So I thought, well, I'll just write about it then, because I'm a writer, so I'll write about it. So yes, it is cheating, because I definitely thought it's only fair. After the grinder I put other artists through, that I put myself through that same grinder.
Wow.
Yeah.
What genre were you with the band?
Definitely alternative.
Okay.
We were expressive. People compared us to the early Jefferson Airplane. And
did you say to me that it was clean music? Is that what you said?
Yes. But our music was clean music. It was positive lyrics.
What is clean music?
Well, clean music isn't where you're swearing and profaning.
Okay.
And
so it's clean. It doesn't have any of that stuff going on.
Yeah, nothing explicit.
And also a positive message. Really.
Yeah, positive message. Okay. I think too that it's quite funny. From our practice room, the band across from us was called Godless.
Ooh. And
sometimes we would be practicing at the same time, and they would knock on our door. Lapchild! Lapchild! We really like that song. Can you play that for us? Yeah. So we would be practicing.
Did you tell them it came straight from God?
Yeah. So they did. They were like, so you guys don't have drugs to help you write songs, and you don't. Because keep in mind that we were performing in clubs, nightclubs, bars. Yeah.
Where was this?
This was in Phoenix. And the Metro Phoenix area, all over. So my band was my family, and we would be together every night, except for because I was working for an airline. So when I was out flying around somewhere, not as a flight attendant, just for leisure, when I was off taking a trip, we wouldn't be together. But other than that, we were always together. Holidays, weekends, we lived and breathed the same flow.
But the seed of that and that group actually happened behind the computer screen with a friend of yours who were telling me. So even in the limitation, I'm just thinking of our viewers, like maybe they have a, regular job or whatever, but it didn't seem to stop you from being creative and picking up ideas and thinking. So just encourage them now.
Well, it's true. Like you said, so picking up. So people do often ask me, why Lapchild? Where did that name come from? So it is, as you said, I was working for an airline. So how sort of profound that the two met together. But my job is an airline and taking the airline with me into my art. So there's a term in the airline industry called the Lapchild. And what that is if a passenger is traveling with their infant and it's 2 years or younger, they get to sit on their lap. So we were learning the entry for this. And as my friend and I giggling in the back, hiding behind our Smithsonian dinosaur monitors, typing back and forth each other, just like so bored all day long, learning these entries for reservations. The teacher taught us passenger name / asterisk, and I said to her, hey, doesn't that sound like the name of a heavy metal band? Now remember, everything's about music in my life, apart from me being centered in Christ, everything is right outside of that center, it's music. So I was thinking music. Doesn't that sound like a glam band name? And welcome to the stage, the / asterisk. And she said, it really does. And so then the teacher goes, so it's passenger name / asterisk, Lapchild. And I went, that was And I went, oh, wow, I like that. Doesn't that sound like the name of a performing artist? And welcome to the stage, Lapchild. And she went, yeah, it does. And I went, I want to be in a band called Lapchild.
So that came about.
Yeah. Fantastic. And she looked at me and she said, you will. And those words just went on into eternity. You will, you will, you will. And I wasn't even in a band. I was writing melodies, catchy little melodies and lyrics.
Yeah.
And as the weeks went, she remembered these songs and she said, you have to start a band. But how? How do you start a band? Anyway, I started a band.
So you found your main musician, your guitarist.
Yeah, my main musician, and he said to me, what should we call ourselves? And I went, would you be terribly hurt if we called ourselves Lapchild? And he went, no, that's really cool. Because our music was funky. It was a lot of wah pedals, and he was an amazing guitarist. He belonged on the cover of Rolling Stone, no doubt about it. And the girls went crazy for him.
Okay, so now there are always cycles of, the pain of starting something and the pain of something ending. So what happened with the band?
Well, it's sort of self-fulfilling because, a Lapchild can only be in existence for 2 years. Child 2 years or under. And my colleagues joked around and said, you can only be Lapchild for 2 years.
Wow.
And that's how long our band lasted.
Oh, yeah.
So it was as beautiful as those years were, and binding and discovering ourselves and growing together. I ended up with a broken heart when the band folded for various different reasons. And the day
that's so hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's a pain and a sorrow that I never overcame. And I still, when I think of my guitarist, I still get weepy. Like I can't walk away without choking up because your family, and you feel that loss.
Yes.
And I knew that I would never replace him. He and I were Lapchild. We were the start of that. And when I had to say goodbye to him, I knew it was over for me with that.
But just to continue the story, so now we are in 2020. And you are just releasing your album. This is your second one. This is called The Plan. Tell our audience about The Plan.
Okay. The Plan, first just a brief backstory, because as you say, I went many, many years still writing songs and playing guitar and chucking them out. But I think you and I had this conversation way back when we first met about music and what did I want to do with music. And I said to you, I'm not a solo artist. I'm a group person.
Yeah.
It's not about me. I thrive in a band environment, and I just don't have that. And I just don't have band members here. The problem that I ran into was I was constantly creating songs. The Lord was just blessing me. And maybe it was just for the purpose solely of giving them back to Him. But inside I felt like, no, I'm not I'm capable of more, and I need to find that potential.
And also, there's a message to encourage somebody else.
Yeah.
If this is part of your story, your healing, your journey, there's going to be somebody else that's going to be encouraged by how you've been lifted out of, some of the, exactly.
Yes, I did a study some years ago because I really a bit of a Bible scholar, and I really fell in love with this character of Asaph, the chief musician of David, King David. So we did a study on his life, and I was completely marveled, and he became my hero. And I thought, what a blessed, privileged man. And so I dedicated my music to God, and the minute I did that, Melanie, I started dreaming songs. Seriously, I would be in the dream, I would be singing on a stage with musicians around me, and I would wake up to that song, this beautiful angelic song that I was singing in my dream, and I would have the melody. And then sometimes I would read the Psalms, and the melody would come over there. So I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to give these back to God. But I just got 5 loaves and 2 fish.
So the question is, so you had the songs, and you had yourself, and you had inspiration. So I believe there's been quite a challenging, long, and difficult road. But the fruit now is that you have the plan. But we'll talk about that just now. So what about the road to creating and putting those songs down and to actually making this album that now you're releasing?
But I have 5 loaves and 2 fish. And for me, that was software and a laptop. And I had just learned how to play keyboard. Yeah. You're never too old, really. And, and I bought a microphone. So that's what I had. And it's a hard learning process because I'm an abstract artist. And music is technical. So
you did have YouTube as well. You said there are some very useful YouTube.
Very useful.
Learning things.
God bless the people that are being true to their talent. And I learned as much as I could, basic things, but that you don't know what you don't know. There was a lot I didn't know. The album I did 3 years ago isn't going to be award-winning because I did everything myself, from writing the songs to recording the songs to mixing and mastering and then putting it out in promo and making the album covers, the artwork, everything. I did everything. It was
What was that album called?
It was called Forever. There's some beautiful songs on there.
Is that also available now?
It is available, it's available. There's patience in the process, but art needs an audience. I don't think any musician that's digging down deep today, doing what I do, is expecting to become multi-millionaire famous. We're just looking for an audience and someone to share ourselves with, because the music industry is shifting.
Okay, so we're talking about the plan, okay? So now it is available, and you're dropping songs every week. So come on, tell our viewers.
2 weeks, it's been in the making for a couple of years. The songs have been out there and recorded. I think that God's hand was in this, and maybe using it.
So this is the theme song you're talking
about.
It's
the theme song, the title track.
Okay.
Yeah. So that day, the morning that I received that song, I wrote out the lyrics, sat down at the keyboard, decided how fast I wanted the song to be, what key I wanted it to be in, threw some chord progressions down, started finding itself, and I was ministering to myself. It's these promises of God, simple and in your face.
About his plan.
About his plan.
His plan for you, his plan for us, his plan for you.
Yep. His promises in his plan. That whatever he sees you to, he's going to see you through. So don't be discouraged. It's a song about walking by faith and not by sight. And I thought, wow, this needs to be the title track. This is going to be the power.
So now this has already been dropped, so tell us where we can find it. Where can we find it?
This dropped 2 weeks ago. It's available on all of the streaming portals, SoundCloud, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, and then
iTunes
for purchase, and Google and Amazon, and most importantly, my own site, my own website, which you can find a link to at the end of this video. I hope that it's going to minister to you.
Okay, now we have some of our viewers who perhaps are up-and-coming artists. Perhaps they want to glean something about, music has been, when we look through the last few decades or whatever, it's been a certain type of music. Things have changed a lot. What is happening now that our viewers want to just hear, especially because you've been such a critic of music and you understand how, there are seasons and, in decades things change, and it has really changed now.
Really changed.
So why don't you tell us?
It's changed now in two different ways. For the person that wants to get involved in music today, you must realize that the recording industry of the 70s, of the 80s, the 90s, the zeros, it's done.
Mm.
And people going out and touring, the COVID and the lockdown has changed that. And I don't think it's going to regain its strength, not to what it ever was.
Well, I think if you're already well known,
that's it.
Then you can put out. We're going to have a special,
absolutely,
a special kind of broadcast or whatever, and then you can do that. But if you're not known already,
that's it.
So what are they going to do?
You have to find the joy in it. The joy in it is to have the fulfillment of that gift that's within you, and just to use it. God gave me the patience and the time and the skill to do that. First of all, finding your voice. What is it that you want to say? Finding a support system, people that know what they're doing, even if it's just online tutorials. So the downside of it, you're not going to sell a lot of album units because people aren't buying albums anymore. They're putting together playlists of this song from that artist and this song from that artist. 100 songs full.
So even one good song, even one good song could put you somewhere.
Yeah. What I'm finding a joy in doing that is that there's people out there that will listen. There's still, music is still such an integral part of people's life. It is its own language, and we all speak it differently. I've reinvented myself because I'm no longer a group. I'm just lab child. Me sitting in the lab with God. I'm doing my 5 O's and 2 fish, and I'm finding it fulfilling. Not only learning it, but in hearing what comes out of it, and then finding people that are going to enjoy that, finding my audience. I don't love marketing myself. I'm horrible at self-promotion. I don't enjoy it at all, but I do enjoy finding so much beautiful music. 20 years ago, artists couldn't just record their music. They couldn't afford it. You had to have someone sponsoring you. You had to have someone funding you. You had to have a person in your band with their rich parents. So now you can do it for cheap. You can master a song, even if it's just one. You can mix a song. There's so many websites out there just full of talent, of people looking for work. They're now living full time. This is a beautiful thing in music now. It's opened up to people in India and Thailand and Mexico and Brazil and Spain. So
you can send your music over there. They can master
it. And it's with trusted sites that they don't get the money until they're the mediators. They take just a small chunk, and they should. It's only fair. We're all making a living. It's a win-win-win situation. So you can find people to mix and master and produce and video and everything you need right there. It's so easy. So anyone can do music today, can record it and make it sound good. Anybody can. That's the exciting part. And finding other people that are doing the same thing. It's encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to point out one thing that really I think is quite profound. Is you've spoken about writing your journey, finding your way. But I think, I think that's really the thing that actually it attracts people, is when it's your story, when it's your journey, and when it's authentic. I think, if you're just going to do a boom, 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 just to make some money, I can't see how that's really going to, how it's going to fulfill you, or how it's really going to make a dent in anybody else. So I just want to say that's what I really appreciate about your music, is it's authentically you. It's you're expressing something that you believe is going to affect somebody else in a way that's going to encourage.
So when I can connect with someone who's soul searching,
right,
and I can add value to their life, and then they come back and add value to my life, and then that grows. That circle grows.
What about age? Does it matter? Does age really matter?
Not anymore. Looks, age, race. It doesn't matter. I had a 10-year-old girl absolutely loved Forever, the album Forever. Absolutely, I gave it to her.
Well, as we come to a close of this interview, I just want to ask you, what would your words of advice and the wisdom from your journey be to people maybe who are starting out now?
I think,
especially considering which we didn't mention about your self-esteem and things like that at the beginning, because you had an issue with that too. Well, why don't we go there? We'll kind of
I think it's part of my past, and I think it isn't far gone, but it's that the fear of rejection, and that can keep you. Fear is a horrible thing, and it can paralyze. There are people with different strengths in the music industry.
Different sounds.
Yeah, different sounds.
Exactly.
And so I think you need to just express yourself naturally. Find something you like that you connect with. You have two choices when you go on stage. You can conceal yourself or you can reveal yourself.
Yes.
And I chose to reveal myself.
Right.
So I think be real.
Yeah.
Don't copy someone else.
Yes.
Be yourself. Have songs inspire you.
Yeah.
And then just be, bring your past and your present and your future into
your own looks.
Yeah, bring yourself into
nobody is
give
you.
us yourself.
Nobody
give
is
us
you.
you. That's right. Nobody's you. And show us the positive things that you're doing with your pain.
And you have a story because you have this look. So tell us about your look, Jory, just before we leave.
Okay, my look. I'm not actually trying for a look. I guess that's it.
But you're very expressive.
Yeah, I'm very expressive.
Look at the earrings and the big jewelry.
Yeah. Because of my past and the things I experienced, I was always afraid of people. And so I think I wanted to just blend in. I didn't want anyone to
so
see
bad,
me.
Isn't it? So dangerous.
But the moment that I was set free in Christ,
wow.
What a change he did in me. I became expressive.
Colorful.
I became colorful. I delighted in different things, unusual things. Taking risks, not being afraid of what people think. Just, expressing myself. And that expression has changed over the years, but I'm still expressing myself. It's been a life of square peg, round hole.
And you're still here. She's still here. So if you are feeling that, you can also be still here.
Yeah, it's okay to be a square peg. Just don't look for a round hole.
Jory, Lapchild, I really want to thank you so much. This has been amazing. Having this journey with the audience that are watching now, and to be able to actually just see that if you actually put your mind to something and you're prepared to work hard and you're prepared to be yourself, you can actually really be a blessing to so many people and have that godly expression that actually God's put inside of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We want to wish you all the best.
Thank you. You can follow me, subscribe, reach out is what I'm saying. Most importantly, what I want everyone to gain when we're talking about giving value is two things that I want for every person. And one is to reach God's fullest potential for you, to get everything that He has for you, marriage potential, and whatever craft, whatever art, whatever gift or strength you have. And you're not going to find success in your personal life, in your private life. You're not going to find fulfillment or satisfaction until you're using your God-given gifts, because those you're giving directly back to God and you're blessing Him, and consequently, in turn, you bless other people. That's what I want for everyone.
Excellent.
To find their God-given gifts.
Well, thank you for watching. Remember to look out for the plan, Lapchild, on all the social media. And also, as the songs are being dropped, so you can share with some other people as well. And remember to subscribe. Thanks for being with us. Great that you could join us.